Okay, it's live. Yeah, everything was good. Trina, the video that I said, the extra video that I was gonna record yesterday, I actually recorded it yesterday, but it's still trying to upload. Remember I mentioned that? I was like, I hope I don't have the same problem that I did. It's when I do longer videos, well, when I break it up, well, when I record, because it's a little bit longer, I'll break it up into pieces. But what happens is the application that I use to put it all together is called Splice. And so it goes through it, it merges the videos and everything, but it tends to take a little while to upload. And it's still trying to upload. And they said yesterday it's going to take at least an hour and a half to upload. I'm like, what? So I'm like, let me clear off some of my storage and everything. I did that. And I was uploading. I tried to do it a couple times and it said it couldn't finish. And then it said your storage is too full. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had to go through, delete like 1,000 pictures and I think like 40 videos. I'm like, okay, if I delete some of these videos, it'll clear up some of that space. And some of the videos that I had, there's some of my morning videos, which are already saved to my laptop. So I was like, I can delete these, clear up some of this space. But the video is it's almost 2 hours long. It's actually an hour and 48 minutes long, but it's still trying to upload. So when I was about to come live on my phone, struggling with this darn app, it said, do not put this in the background. If you put this in the background, it's going to stop the uploading. So I'm like, you know what? I tried it and I checked it and it stopped the whole process. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So after we're done with today's video, I'm going to start trying to upload it again. So the video that I told you to watch for yesterday, be watching for it today. So hopefully everything will go well with it and I can get it uploaded and done. Right? All right. So that's why I was running a little bit behind today. Tiffany, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. All right, y'all. Let me pull my book out. All right, yeah. Let's see. All right, y'all. It is August the 3rd, 2021, day 223 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets. Another 3-year consecutive day count is day 892. Today, y'all, we read Jeremiah 49. Give me 1 second, because I forget how many chapters are in the book of Jeremiah. Hold on, let me pull it up. I want to say it's the next 3 chapters, but I need to double check and make sure. Let's see. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna double check it so I won't have to do that tomorrow. Jeremiah 49, 50, and 51. And then we're going to pick up where we left off at Fossilized Customs on page 277, y'all. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the Shema. Okay. All right. Come back. All right, y'all remember the Shema is found in Deuteronomy chapter 6 and starting at verse 3. Hear, therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahuwah, the mighty one of our fathers, has promised us, in a land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah, our mighty one, he is one. And you shall love Yahuwah, your mighty one, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. And Yahuwah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahuwah, our mighty one, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahuwah, our mighty one, as he has commanded us. Okay. Here. All right, so let's hop on over here to Jeremiah chapter 49. Auntie Melinda Brown, shalom, shalom. Okay, y'all, for the ones that just hopped in over on YouTube, the ones that was looking for the video, the extra video that I said I was going to upload yesterday, keep looking for it today. It's taken a while to upload, so, and I did it on my phone, and I spliced it together on my phone, and it's taken a little while, so be on the lookout for it today. All right, Jeremiah chapter 49. A message about Ammon. Remember, we just picking up where we left off at yesterday. Yahuwah is giving it to all the nations. He talking to each one of them. He called them all out. A message about Ammon. This message was given concerning the Ammonites. This is what Yahuwah says. Are there no descendants of Israel to inherit the land of Gad? Why are you who worship Molech living in its towns? In the days to come, says Yahuwah, I will sound a battle cry against your city of Rabbah. It will become a desolate heap of ruins, and the neighboring towns will be burned. Then Israel will take back the land you took from her, says Yahuwah. Cry out, O Heshbon, for the town of Ai is destroyed. Weep, O people of Rabbah. Put on your clothes of mourning. Weep and wail, hiding in the hedges, for your god Molech, with his priests and officials, will be hauled off to distant lands. You are proud of your fertile valleys, but they will soon be ruined. You trusted in your wealth, your rebellious daughter, and thought no one could ever harm you. But look, I will bring terror upon you, says Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies. Your neighbors will chase you from your land, and no one will help your exiles as they flee. But I will restore the fortunes of the Ammonites in days to come. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. Shayla Hager, hey, so even though he gonna discipline the Ammonites, he said that he's gonna restore their fortunes as well. So notice this. Remember, we talked about this. Yahuwah is good to all, right? And he's looking for people to do what's right, right? Okay. A message about Edom. This message was given concerning Edom. This is what Yahuwah, the God of heaven's army, says. Is there no wisdom in Teman? Is no one left to give wise counsel? Turn and flee. Hide in deep caves, you people of Dedan. But when I bring disaster upon Edom, I will punish you too. Those who harvest grapes always leave a few for the poor. If thieves came at night, they would not take everything. But I will strip bare the land of Edom, and there will be no place left to hide. Its children, its brothers, and its neighbors will all be destroyed, and Edom itself will be no more. But I will protect the orphans who remain among you. Your widows too can depend on me for help. He's talking to Edom now, not even Israel. He's talking to Edom, right? And we remember this is classic Yah, right? I will protect the orphans who remain among you, your widows too. They can depend on me for help. He has this thing for the let's say the underdog, so to speak, right? Love it. He protects the orphans and the widows, the fatherless, right? Those who have no one to care for them. He said they can look to me, right? And this is what Yahuwah, and this is what Yahuwah says. If the innocent must suffer, how much more must you? You will not go unpunished. You must drink this cup of judgment. For I have sworn by my own name, says Yahuwah, that Basra will become an object of horror and a heap of ruins. It will be mocked and cursed. All its towns and villages will be desolate forever. I have heard a message from Yahuwah that an ambassador was sent to the nations to say, form a coalition against Edom and prepare for battle. Yahuwah says to Edom, I will cut you down to size among the nations. You will be despised by all. You have been deceived by the fear you inspire in others and by your own pride. You live in a rock fortress and control the mountain heights. But even if you make your nest among the peaks with the eagles, I will bring you crashing down, says Yahuwah. Edom will be an object of horror. All who pass by will be appalled and will gasp at the destruction they see there. It will be like the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighboring towns, says Yahuwah. No one will live there. No one will inhabit it. I will come like a lion from the thickets of the Jordan, leaping on the sheep in the pasture. I will chase Edom from its land, and I will appoint the leader of my choice. For who is like me, and who can challenge me? What ruler can oppose my will? Listen to Yahuwah's plans against Edom and the people of Teman. Even the little children will be dragged off like sheep and their homes destroyed. The earth will shake with the noise of Edom's fall, and its cry of despair will be heard all the way to the Red Sea. Look, the enemy swoops down like an eagle, spreading his wings over Basra. Even the mightiest warriors will be in anguish like a woman in labor. Tony J. Shalom. A message about Damascus. This message was given concerning Damascus. This is what Yahuwah says. The towns of Hamath and Arpad are struck with fear, for they have heard the news of their destruction. Their hearts are troubled, like a wild sea in a raging storm. Damascus has become feeble, and all her people turn to flee. Fear, anguish, and pain have gripped her as they grip a woman in labor. That famous city, a city of joy, will be forsaken. Her young men will fall in the streets and die. Her soldiers will all be killed, says Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies. And I will set fire to the walls of Damascus that will burn up the palaces of Ben-Hadad. A message about Kedar and Hazar. This message was given concerning Kedar and the kingdoms of Hazor, which are attacked by King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. This is what Yahuwah says. Remember these prophecies, Yahuwah is speaking to Jeremiah, and Jeremiah is speaking to these nations. Advance against Kedar. Destroy the warriors from the east. Their flocks and tents will be captured, and their household goods and camels will be taken away. Everywhere shouts of panic will be heard. We are terrorized at every turn. Run for your lives, says Yahuwah. Hide yourselves in deep caves, you people of Hazor. For King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon has plotted against you and is preparing to destroy you. Go up and attack that complacent nation, says Yahuwah. Its people live alone in the desert without walls or gates. Their camels and other livestock will all be yours. I will scatter to the winds these people who live in remote places. I will bring calamity upon them from every direction, says Yahuwah. Hazar will be inhabited by jackals, and it will be desolate forever. No one will live there. No one will inhabit it. That kind of sound like the same punishment he doled out to us, right? He said, your home will be a home for jackals, right? No one will live there. It'll be desolate forever, right? He measures out the same punishment to everybody. It's not just us, Israel, that's being singled out, right? Yahuwah said the entire human race is foolish. They have all gone astray, right? It just so happened that Israel to help bring their brethren back to their common senses and stop doing all of these detestable acts, right? And worshiping things that are not God, right? A message about Elam. This message concerning Elam came to the prophet Jeremiah from Yahuwah at the beginning of the reign of King Zedekiah of Judah. This is what Yahuwah, the God of heaven's army, says. I will destroy the archers of Elam. the best of their forces. I will bring enemies from all directions and will scatter the people of Elam to the four winds. Oh, look, who else got scattered to the four winds? Elam. I will bring enemies from all directions, and I will scatter the people of Elam to the four winds. They will be exiled to countries around the world. I myself will go with Elam's enemies to shatter it. In my fierce anger, I will bring great disaster upon the people of Elam, says Yahuwah. Their enemies will chase them with the sword until I have destroyed them completely. I will set my throne in Elam, says Yahuwah, and I will destroy its king and officials. But I will restore the fortunes of Elam in the days to come. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. Right? So even though he is scattering them as well, and just like he said he will bring Israel back and restore her fortunes, it looks like he's saying the same thing to every other nation that he's about to chastise, right? We are not singled out. Daughter of Sarah, shalom, sis. Jeremiah chapter 50. A message about Babylon. Yahuwah gave Jeremiah the prophet this message concerning Babylon and the land of the Babylonians. This is what Yahuwah says: tell the whole world and keep nothing back. Raise a signal flag to tell everyone that Babylon will fall. Her images and idols will be shattered. Her gods, Baal and Marduk, will be utterly disgraced. For a nation will attack her from the north and bring such destruction that no one will live there again. Everything will be gone. Both people and animals will flee. Hope for Israel and Judah. In those days coming, says Yahuwah, the people of Israel will return home together with the people of Judah. They will come weeping and seeking Yahuwah their God. They will ask the way to Jerusalem and will start back home again. They will bind themselves to Yahuwah with an eternal covenant that will never be forgotten. So every generation that got to go back, as they begin to go back home, this is what they do. They repent of all their shenanigans, right? And they bind themselves to Yahuwah with a covenant that'll never be forgotten. And it is no different for us that are waking up and realizing, wait a minute, we've been doing this wrong. We have actually been going against everything that he has set out for us, that he has commanded us, all of the instructions that he has left for us. We've been doing the exact opposite, right? And a lot of us are waking up, and we are grieved by our actions and the actions of our ancestors. Ancestors meaning those who are no longer living, those who have passed on before us, right? We are like, Father, forgive us and forgive our family, our ancestors, and we're turning back to him wholeheartedly, right? They will bind themselves to Yahuwah with an eternal covenant that will never be forgotten. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have led them astray and turned them loose in the mountains. They have lost their way and can't remember how to get back to the sheepfold. All who found them devoured them. Their enemies said, we did nothing wrong in attacking them, for they sinned against Yahuwah, their true place of rest and the hope of their ancestors. But now flee from Babylon. Leave the land of the Babylonians like male goats at the head of the flock. Lead my people home again, for I am raising up an army of great nations from the north. They will join forces to attack Babylon, and she will be captured. The enemy's arrows will go straight to the mark. They will not miss. Babylonia will be looted until the attackers are glutted with loot. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. Babylon's sure fall. You rejoice and are glad, you who plundered my chosen people. You frisk about like a calf in a meadow and neigh like a stallion, but your homeland will be overwhelmed with shame and disgrace. You will become the least of the nations, a wilderness, a dry and desolate land. Because of Yahuwah's anger, Babylon will become a deserted wasteland, and all who pass by will be horrified and will gasp at the destruction they see there. Yes, prepare to attack Babylon, all you surrounding nations. So we know how powerful Babylon is, right? Babylon is so powerful that all the nations have to team up together to come attack her. This once mighty city that attacked every other nation on its own and by herself must be attacked by the whole of everybody that she has captured. They have to team up in order to take her down, right? Think about that. Yes, prepare to attack Babylon, all you surrounding nations. Let your archers shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against Yahuwah. Shout war cries against her from every side. Look, she surrenders. Her walls have fallen. It's Yahuwah's vengeance, so take vengeance on her. Do to her as she has done to others. Take from Babylon all those who plant crops. Send all the harvesters away, because the sword of the enemy, everyone will run away and rush back to their own lands, right? Babylon is the great melting pot of the world. Everybody that she has subdued is now living in this land, right? And when Babylon is attacked by all the surrounding nations who join together and join forces, everybody will go back to their own lands, right? Everywhere that you originate from, you return there. Hope for Yahuwah's people. The Israelites are like sheep that have been scattered by lions. First, the king of Assyria ate them up. Then King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon cracked their bones. Therefore, this is what Yahuwah, the God of heaven's army, the God of Israel, says. Now I will punish the king of Babylon and his land, just as I punished the king of Assyria, and I will bring Israel home again to its own land, to feed in the fields of Carmel and Bashan, and to be satisfied once more in the hill country of Ephraim and Gilead. In those days, says Yahuwah, no sin will be found in Israel or in Judah, for I will forgive the remnant I preserve. Right? What a beautiful day that would be, that there will be no sin found among us regions, because you know how hard headed we can be, right? He said, but in those days, no sin will be found in Israel or in Judah, for I will forgive the remnant I preserve, right? Yahuwah's judgment on Babylon. Go up, my warriors, against the land of Meratham and against the people of Pekod. Pursue, kill, and completely destroy them as I have commanded you, says Yahuwah. Let the battle cry be heard in the land, a shout of great destruction. Babylon, the mightiest hammer in all the earth, lies broken and shattered. Babylon is desolate among the nations. Listen, Babylon, for I have set a trap for you. You are caught, and you have fought against Yahuwah. I'm sorry. You are caught, for you have fought against Yahuwah. Yahuwah has opened his armory and brought out weapons to vent his fury. The terror that falls upon the Babylons will be the work of the sovereign Lord, the God of heaven's armies. Yes, come against her from distant lands. Break open her granaries. Crush her walls and houses into heaps of rubble. Destroy her completely and leave nothing. Destroy even her young bulls. It will be terrible for them too. Slaughter them all. For Babylon's day of reckoning has come. Listen to the people who have escaped from Babylon as they tell in Jerusalem how Yahuwah your God has taken vengeance against those who destroyed his temple. Send out a call for archers to come to Babylon. Surround the city so no one can escape. Do to her as she has done to others, for she has defied Yahuwah, the Holy One of Israel. Her young men will fall in the streets and die. Her soldiers will all be killed, says Yahuwah. See, I am your enemy, you arrogant people, says Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies. Your day of reckoning has arrived, the day when I will punish you. O land of arrogance, you stumble and fall, and no one will raise you up. For I will light a fire in the cities of Babylon that will burn up everything around them. This is what Yahuwah, the God of heaven's army, says. The people of Israel and Judah have been wronged. Their captors hold them and refuse to let them go. But the one who redeems them is strong, and his name is Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies. He will defend them and give them rest again in Israel. But for the people of Babylon, there will be no rest. The sword of destruction will strike the Babylonians, says Yahuwah. It will strike the people of Babylon, her officials and wise men too. The sword will strike her wise counselors, and they will become fools. The sword will strike her mightiest warriors, and panic will seize them. The sword will strike her horses and chariots and her allies from other lands, and they will all become like women. The sword will strike her treasures, and they all will be plundered. A drought will strike her water supply, causing it to dry up. And why? Because the whole land is filled with idols, and the people are madly in love with them. Soon, Babylon will be inhabited by desert animals and hyenas. It will be a home for owls. Never again will people live there. It will lie desolate forever. I will destroy it as I destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighboring towns, says Yahuwah. No one will live there. No one will inhabit it. Look, a great army is coming from the north. A great nation and many kings are rising against you from far off lands. They are armed with bows and spears. They are cruel and show no mercy. As they ride forward on horses, they sound like a roaring sea. They are coming in battle formation, planning to destroy you, Babylon. The king of Babylon has heard reports about the enemy, and he is weak with fright. Pangs of anguish have gripped him like those of a woman in labor. I will come like a lion from the thickets of the Jordan, leaping on the sheep in the pasture. I will chase Babylon from its land, and I will appoint the leader of my choice. For who is like me, and who can challenge me? What ruler can oppose my will? Listen to Yahuwah's plan against Babylon and the land of the Babylonians. Even the little children will be dragged off like sheep, and their homes will be destroyed. The earth will shake with a shout. Babylon has been taken, and its cry of despair will be heard around the world. Woo! I love it. Hold on. Jeremiah chapter 51. Dream Sky Lover, Shalom. Last chapter for the day, y'all. Jeremiah chapter 51. This is what Yahuwah says. I will stir up a destroyer against Babylon and the people of Babylonia. Foreigners will come and winnow her, blowing her away as chaff. They will come from every side to rise against her in her day of trouble. Don't let the archers put on their armor or draw their bows. Don't even spare her best soldiers. Let her army be completely destroyed. They will fall dead in the land of Babylonians, slashed to death in her streets. For Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies, has not abandoned Israel and Judah. He is still their God, even though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee from Babylon. Save yourselves. Don't get trapped in her punishment. It is Yahuwah's time for vengeance. He will repay her in full. Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahuwah's hand, a cup that he made the whole earth drink. Babylon has been a gold cup in Yahuwah's hands, a cup that made the whole earth drunk. The nations drank Babylon's wine, and it drove them all mad. But suddenly, Babylon too has fallen. Weep for her. Give her medicine. Perhaps she can yet be healed. We would have helped her if we could, but nothing can save her now. Let her go. Abandon her. Return now to your own land, for her punishment reaches the heavens. It is so great it cannot be measured. Yahuwah has vindicated us. Come, let us announce in Jerusalem everything Yahuwah our God has done. Sharpen the arrows, lift up the shields, for Yahuwah has inspired the kings of the Medes to march against Babylon and destroy her. This is his vengeance against those who desecrate his temple. Raise the battle flag against Babylon. Reinforce the guard and the station. Reinforce the guard and station the watchmen. Prepare an ambush, for Yahuwah will fulfill his plans against Babylon. You are a city by a great river, a great center of commerce, but your end has come. The thread of your life is cut. Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies, has taken this vow and has sworn to it by his own name, right? Your cities will be fulfilled with, your cities will be filled with enemies, like fields swarming with locusts, and they will shout in triumph over you. A hymn of praise to Yahuwah. Yahuwah made the earth by his power, and he preserves it by his wisdom. With his own understanding, he stretched out the heavens. When he speaks in the thunder, the heavens roar with rain. He causes the clouds to rise over the earth. He sends the lightning with the rain and releases the wind from his storehouses. Here we go. Look. The whole human race is foolish and has no knowledge. That's Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 17. I always repeat that. I keep forgetting where it is. Hold on. I'm like, Father, this is still true today in 2020, in 2021. Hold on. Jeremiah 51, 17. That's going to be our title for the day. The whole human race is foolish and has no knowledge. The craftsmen are disgraced by the idols they make, for their carefully shaped works are a fraud. These idols have no breath or power. Idols are worthless. They are ridiculous lies. On the day of reckoning, they will all be destroyed. But the God of Israel is no idol. He is the creator of everything that exists, including his people, his own special possession. Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies, is his name. Babylon's great punishment. You are my battle axe and sword, says Yahuwah. With you I will shatter nations and destroy many kingdoms. With you I will shatter armies, destroying the horse and rider, the chariot and charioteer. With you I will shatter men and women, old people and children, young men and young women. With you I will shatter shepherds and flocks, farmers and oxen, captains and officers. I will repay Babylon and the people of Babylonia for all the wrong they have done to my people in Jerusalem, says Yahuwah. Look, O mighty mountain, destroyer of the earth, I am your enemy, says Yahuwah. I will raise my fist against you and knock you down from the heights. When I am finished, you will be nothing but a heap of burnt rubble. You will be desolate forever. Even your stones will never again be used for building. You will be completely wiped out, says Yahuwah. Raise a signal flag to the nations. Sound the battle cry. Mobilize them all against Babylon. Prepare them to fight against her. Bring out the armies of Ararat, Mini, and Ashkenaz. Appoint a commander and bring a multitude of horses like swarming locusts. Bring against her the armies of the nations, led by the kings of the Medes and all their captains and officers. The earth trembles and writhes in pain, for everything Yahuwah has planned against Babylon stands unchanged. Babylon will be left desolate without a single inhabitant. Her mightiest warriors no longer fight. They stay in their barracks, their courage gone. They have become like women. The invaders have burned the houses, broken down the city gates. The news is passed from one runner to the next as the messengers hurry to tell the king that his city has been captured. All the escape routes are blocked. The marshes have been set aflame, and the army is in a panic. This is what Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies, the God of Israel, says. Babylon is like wheat on a threshing floor, about to be trampled. In just a little while, her harvest will begin. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon has eaten and crushed us and drained us of strength. He has swallowed us like a great monster and filled his belly with our riches. He has thrown us out of our country. Make Babylon suffer as she made us suffer, says the people of Zion. Make the people of Babylonia pay for spilling our blood, says Jerusalem. The vengeance, Yahuwah's vengeance on Babylon. This is what Yahuwah says to Jerusalem. I will be your lawyer to plead your case. Who will be our lawyer? Yahuwah said, I myself will be your lawyer. I will be your lawyer to plead your case. I will avenge you. I will dry up her river as they will her springs, and Babylon will become a heap of ruins, haunted by jackals. She will be an object of horror and contempt, a place where no one lives. Her people will roar together like strong lions. They will growl like lion cubs. And while they lie inflamed with all their wine, I will prepare a different kind of feast for them. I will make them drink until they fall asleep, and they will never wake up again, says Yahuwah. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams and goats to be sacrificed. How Babylon is falling, great Babylon. Praise throughout the whole earth. Think about this. Everybody knows at this day that America is Babylon, right? The daughter of the great whore, right? Oh, yo, guys, oh, this is getting so good. And we know a lot of these things haven't come to pass yet because Babylon has not yet fallen. We are still living in Babylon, and Babylon has subdued all the nations around the world, and Babylon has thoroughly pissed off every nation, right? She has subdued every nation, every people of the world. She done something to and robbed them of their riches and holds them nations under her thumb, right? Let you get out of line. We're gonna sanction you. We're gonna what? The money we be getting, we're gonna take it away, right? All this is still going on today. It looks a little bit different because we're more modernized, but the same stuff is happening, and Babylon will fall. All the nations will come and rise against this whore, right? How Babylon is falling. Great Babylon praise throughout the earth. Everybody want to get to America. People losing their lives, dying in oceans, trying to get to this whore, right? How Babylon is falling. Great Babylon, praised throughout the earth. Now she has become an object of horror among the nations. The sea has risen over Babylon. She is covered by its crashing waves. Her cities now lie in ruins. She is a dry wasteland where no one lives or even passes by. And I will punish Baal, the god of Babylon, and make him vomit up all he has eaten. The nations will no longer come to worship him. The wall of Babylon has fallen. A message for the exiles, right? Come out, my people. Flee from Babylon. Save yourselves. Run from Yahuwah's fierce anger, but do not panic. Don't be afraid when you hear the first rumor of approaching forces, for rumors will keep coming year by year. Violence will erupt in the land as the leaders fight against each other, right? And we can see how Matthew 24 coincides because Matthew, all of the tribulation chapters and all that stuff, it's taken directly from the books of the prophets. They're literally repeating the prophecies that were given to the prophets, right? They make it look a little bit different, like other people have said it, other people have regurgitated. I don't care who it was that said it, who it was that talked about it in Matthew 24. They're simply repeating what Yahuwah himself has said was going to happen, right? And it actually gives us more detail if we come back to the prophets and we get it right from the source. Let me go back to 45. Come out, my people, flee from Babylon, save yourselves, run from Yahuwah's fierce anger, but do not panic. Don't be afraid when you hear the first rumor of approaching forces, for rumors will keep coming year by year. Violence will erupt in the land as leaders fight against each other. For the time is surely coming when I will punish this great city and all her idols. Her whole land will be disgraced, and her dead will lie in the streets. Then the heavens and the earth will rejoice, for out of the north will come destroying armies against Babylon, says Yahuwah. Just as Babylon killed the people of Israel and others throughout the world, so must her people be killed. Measure for measure. Yahuwah does not have unbalanced scales, just like Babylon has slaughtered and plundered every other nation of the world, including Yahuwah's chosen people, Israel, that are still held captive within her borders. Listen, he said that same measure that you met out against every other nation on this earth, you're going to get that same measurement, right? And you're going to have it to the full. Just as Babylon killed the people of Israel and others throughout the world, so must her people be killed. Get out, all you who have escaped the sword. Do not stand and watch. Flee while you can. Remember Yahuwah, though you are in a far off land. Think about your home in Jerusalem. We are ashamed, the people say. We are insulted and disgraced because Yahuwah's temple has been defiled by foreigners. Yes, says Yahuwah, but the time is coming when I will destroy Babylon's idols. The groans of her wounded people will be heard throughout the land. Though Babylon reaches as high as the heavens and makes her fortifications incredibly strong, I will still send enemies to plunder her. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. Babylon's complete destruction. Listen, hear the cry of Babylon, the sound of great destruction from the land of the Babylonians. For Yahuwah is destroying Babylon. He will silence her loud voice. Waves of enemies pound against her. The noise of battle rings through the city. Destroying armies come against Babylon. Her mighty men are captured, and their weapons break in their hands. For Yahuwah is a God who gives just punishment. He always repays in full. I will make her officials and wise men drunk, along with her captains, officers, and warriors. They will fall asleep and never wake up again, says the King, whose name is Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies. This is what Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies, says. The thick walls of Babylon will be leveled to the ground, and her massive gates will be burned. The builders from many lands have worked in vain, for their work will be destroyed by fire. Jeremiah's message sent to Babylon. The prophet Jeremiah gave this message to Sariah, son of Neriah and grandson of Messiah, a staff officer, when Sariah went to Babylon with King Zedekiah of Judah. This was during the 4th year of Zedekiah's reign. Jeremiah had recorded on a scroll all the terrible disasters that would soon come upon Babylon, all the words written here. He said to Sariah, when you get to Babylon, read aloud everything on this scroll. Then he said, Yahuwah, you have said that you will destroy Babylon so that neither people nor animals will remain here. She will lie empty and abandoned forever. When you have finished reading the scroll, tie it to a stone and throw it into the Euphrates River. Then say, in this same way, Babylon and her people will sink, never to rise again because of the disasters I will bring upon her. This is the end of Jeremiah's messages. Whew! All right, y'all. So that is our reading for today. That was Jeremiah 49, 50, and 51. Josiah, shalom. Yes, his word does not return to him void, it says. Okay, so let's hop on over here to Fossilized Custom. Let's see what time we at. I know we close. Oh, we have 44 minutes today. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get through a little bit of this. Fossilized Customs. We stopped yesterday. We read the whole section about homosexuality and being homophobic or heterophobic and what all of that means, right? Okay. So the next section, it starts with who is God, right? Okay. Who is God? According to the Encyclopedia Americana, the 1945 edition, God, G-O-D, is a common Teutonic word for a personal object of religious worship, formerly applicable to superhuman beings of heathen myth on conversion of Teutonic races to Christianity. Term was applied to supreme beings. So before they created Christianity, the word God was being applied to all their other deities, right? So when Christianity was created by Constantine, all the way back in like the year 300 era, I forget the exact, I think it's like 325, something like that. Don't quote me on it, but it was in the 300s. Constantine decided to merge all the religions, right? Everybody do what they will do. Everybody do as thou wilt, right? And you can worship your own God, but we're going to do it now. We're going to mash all of them together under this one term, Christianity, right? And they just kind of camouflage a lot of the things that they were doing in the other nations that they still do today in Christianity. But a lot of the Christians are unaware that some of the things that they do and how they act originate from pagan traditions and stuff, right? And we talked a lot about that in the first half of this book. It went into a lot of details and it made us stop and think like, holy crap, everything the church is doing, even from the way it's built and how they have stairs going to the altar, everything is directly opposite of what Yahuwah said it should be, right? So after we read through that, and when you go inside any kind of church building and looking at the stuff, it's like blasphemy all over the place, right? Let's read this again. God, G-O-D, common Teutonic word for personal object of religious worship, formerly applicable to superhuman beings of heathen myth on conversion of Teutonic races to Christianity. The term was applied to supreme being. Genesis chapter 4, verses 26 through Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. At that time, men began to call on the name of Yahuwah. It didn't read all those verses. It just kind of summed it up and pulled out one verse, right? And it was at this time that men began to call on the name of Yahuwah. This statement alone unravels the debate in our favor. The text uses a singular form, Shem. Shem means name, not Shemoth, which in Hebrew, Shemoth is plural. It's Shem singular, Shemoth is plural. So Shem means name, not Shemoth, names. It also presents the reader with the name Yahuwah, which translators expunge, show, destroyed, or replaced for most of us. I was actually having a conversation on my backup channel with one of the ladies, and she was saying that we're not supposed to call Yahuwah by this name. His name is Ishi. And I was trying to explain to her that Ish or Ishi is still a title. It means husband. It's not his name. He said, and she was using Hosea chapter 2 is her foundation for that. You know, we got different debates among our people as we're waking up, returning to Yah, and they're arguing over the name. And the whole point of, yes, we definitely need to know his name, because Yahuwah says he's jealous over his very own name. And he told us what to call him, right? And if you decipher that well, if you first of all, you have to understand the rules of the Hebrew language, how to properly pronounce words when they put them together, right? If you don't understand that, that's where you get all the derivations of Yahuwah, uh, Yehovah, Yahweh, Yahweh, right? All those different ones, and people are arguing over that, but it's a simple misunderstanding for all those who are pronouncing it wrong. Now that I understand it, I don't even really argue with people over it because I understand that they're lacking information, right? I'll keep speaking his name like I understand to speak it. And if they ask me why I pronounce his name that way, then I'll share my knowledge. But I'm not going to go, hey, you're pronouncing his name wrong, right? Because a lot of what I realize is when you're talking to people, and we say I'm saying Yahuwah and they're saying Yehovah, okay, I notice you're saying Yahuwah. Why are you saying Yahuwah instead of Yehovah? Boom, there's my open door. I ain't got to go chasing people. I just do what I know to do. And if they're curious, they'll ask. Like, we ain't got to go banging on people's door trying to evangelize them, running from people like they Jehovah's Witness and stuff. We don't do that, right? The light of Yah will draw people. If they really want to know, they're going to ask you. You ain't got to go messing with everybody. Hey, you're doing that wrong. You're doing that wrong. That's a pet peeve of mine, right? Not sometimes it should be addressed, but it's if they invite you, right? A lot of times I won't unless they invite you, right? And if they do videos, like with Truth Unveiled, he invites you, right? I'm like, oh, okay, all right, right, okay. So it also presents the reader with that name, Yahuwah, which translators expunge, right? And we know when we read the beginning of Bibles, different Bibles, it'll tell you in a preface or an introduction, they tell you that they removed his actual name and now they're using general terms to refer to Yahuwah. But they have left it in a couple places when Yahuwah said, this is my name forever. This is my name for all generations. And it's pronounced Yahuwah, right? Every nation on the world, if they got the ending pronunciation wrong, everybody understands Yah, right? It's in the highest praise form that all nations know and understand. Hallelujah. All praise to Yah, right? If we gonna argue over the last part, well, let's just do the shortened version of his name, Yah. Everybody can agree on Yah, right? Okay. Everything else is a title or something describing him or his attributes or what he does, right? Okay. Exodus chapter 3, verse 13 through 15. Moshe said to Yahuwah, here it goes. Look, they're about to read it. Look. Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, the Elohim or the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? Then what shall I tell them? Yahuwah said to Moshe, Ahiah, Asher, Ahiah, and you will see a certain group of Hebrew Israelites referring to Yahuwah as Ahiah or Yahiah, Asher, Ahiah. You see them doing their videos and how they always start with this right here. And some people are like, okay, what is they saying, right? But if you go back, but Yahuwah didn't say this is what his name was. That's an attribute. He said, tell them that I am, right? Well, okay. I'm looking at the conversation in our day today. Yes, baby.
You can eat bracelets in my mouth, like.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second, Pootie.
Just go there.
Okay, we'll talk about it. He said, okay, so I go to your people. Who do I tell them sent me? Right? He said, tell them I am sent you. You are what? Like, what's your actual name? I know you are. Tell them that I am everything they need me to be. That's who sent you. Let them know that the great I am has sent you, and whatever they need, I got them. He said, okay, I got that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Now I know, right? Yes. But what is your name? Like, my name is Moses. What is your name? Because they're going to ask me, you know them. They're going to ask me, what is your name? Right? Yahuwah said to Moses, Ahiah, Asher, Ahiah, this is what you are to say to the Israelites. Ahiah, I will be, has sent me to you. Yahuwah also said to Moshe, say to the Israelites, Yahuwah, the God of your fathers, The God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation. Aren't we still included in that terminology, generation to generation? We're generation. That means forever. He said, this is my name forever. At every generation, this is what you tell them my name is. This is how they are to address me and to talk about me and call me by my name. How do we know that? How do we know that Yahuwah is jealous over what he just said? Because I've done a study and pulled out all the scriptures where he's talking about his name. And he said, I swear by myself, because there is no one greater than me. And he said, I am jealous over my very own name. You put my name upon the children of Israel, nobody else's name. He said, you tell them to pray to me in my name. Don't pray in anybody else's name. Don't pray to anybody else, but my people shall talk to me and me alone. And all that they ask me in the great, in my name, right? He said, then I'm going to come and I'm going to bless my people. We read that every day, the blessing in Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 through 27, right? Listen, so don't be mistaken on what his name truly is, right? Exodus 5, and that was found in Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 through 15. Take note of that. Go do some chain referencing. Go pull up all the precepts to that right there, and you will see. Follow it along. Exodus chapter 5, verse 2. Pharaoh said, who is Yahuwah that I should obey him and let Israel go? I don't know Yahuwah, and I will not let Israel go. So now the Pharaoh knows his name. Pharaoh is addressing Yahuwah by his name. Well, I don't know him. Don't mess with these people. These my people. And if you want them, let them come try and get them. And we see how well that fared for Pharaoh, right? Don't play with him. We are to be baptized in the name, not names, only in the name of Yahuwah, right? And we see in Acts chapter 2 that singular name is Yahusha, meaning Yah is our salvation or our deliverer. And so we talk about this a lot, right? If you're not understanding what's happening and what Yahuwah has said, you don't realize the subtle flip that happens when you get to the New Testament, right? And people want to argue. And when people argue about this, I can tell that you have not been reading the scriptures. You have been reading what you have been told to read, right? And you're believing what you have been told to believe. I can tell it immediately because they're still getting Yahuwah mixed up with one and two other people. When Yahuwah constantly says, I am one, I am not two, and I am not three. There was no one with me in the beginning. There will be no one with me at the end. There is no one standing beside me. You can go pull each time Yahuwah has said that all throughout the Old Testament, right? And so when we get here and we realize this, we realize that Yahusha is actually a title, right? It's a title of Yahuwah. It's one of those endings that you put on the end of his name that tells you what his attribute is. And at this point, Yahuwah, the creator of heaven and earth, his attribute is salvation. Remember, it goes back to I am. Tell them that I am whatever they need me to be. I will be their deliverer. I will be their healer. Yahuwah Rapha. I will be their banner. Yahuwah Nisi means banner, this banner over me, whatever they need me to be, right? But when you don't understand the Hebrew language and you don't understand attributes that are added to a name to create a new name and not a new person, we get this all chopped and screwed. And people, they tell you in the New Testament to avoid people preaching another gospel, but they themselves are preaching another gospel because they are violating the language laws, the proper understanding of the Hebrew language, right? And if we could just correct that, so like there's a lot of things that people can argue about, but there's a few things that you can pick out I learned this principle in while I was doing some marketing years ago, right? I'm gonna just give a quick example. So if people are arguing about a bunch of little different things, it's like they're trying to bring out different points, but none of these points really matter for real. Y'all just arguing about a bunch of fluff. What you need to identify is the root cause of the problem, right? The root cause of why this is not working and address that. Let's not address the whining and the bickering. Like if you had going to a marketing meeting, let's not address everybody fighting against one another. And we can see it. We can see it amongst Israel, right? They're fighting and bickering. His name is this, and this is this, and we got to do this, and we ain't supposed to be doing this, and you ain't supposed to marry them, and this and this and this. All of these are little small things that will be corrected if we understood the root, right? Teach them the root, and all these other things will fall by the wayside on their own, right? It's called, and in marketing, they use it sounds funny, and I don't even remember why they said they called it this, but they called it chunking up, right? I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but that's how I learned it. That's the terminology that they use. And it's pretty much saying, forget all these little small things, find the root cause of the problem and chunk up, like go up above the chaos, look at it from the bird's eye view instead of ground level view, and find the problem, identify the problem, isolate the problem, deal with the problem, and watch everything else fall in line. And like that's a funny term, but once I understood that, I could see and I could understand the principle behind it in everything, even with dealing with the health of our body, right? I may be coughing or I got these different things happening with my body. Yeah, that's the bunch of fluff and all these other things that's seeming to go wrong. This is going wrong and this is going wrong. Okay, there's a reason why this is going wrong. Let's find out let's find the root cause of the problem so all of these symptoms of this problem can go away. And that's what it is. All this extra talk and garbage is symptoms of a deeper problem. Chunk up or get the bird's eye view, find out what the problem is, isolate it, identify it, isolate it, deal with it, and watch everything else heal on its own, right? Gosh, you can see it everywhere, right? Listen, and it's the same way with his name, right? When you teach them the proper way to, if they understood the Hebrew language and the rules of the Hebrew language, no one would ever get it wrong. And all these bickerings and all the different endings and all these things would go away, right? Okay. Let me go back up. Exodus chapter 5, verse 2. Pharaoh said, "Who is Yahuwah that I should obey him and let Israel go? I do not know Yahuwah, and I will not let Israel go." We are to be baptized in the name, not names. And we see at Acts chapter 2 that singular name is Yahusha, meaning Yahuwah, but we're to be baptized because he saves, right? Not in a separate person's name, but it's still referring to Yahuwah, the creator of heaven and earth, the same God that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob worshiped, right? His attribute is salvation. One of his attributes is salvation, deliverer, redeemer, right? There's something of that I am that he does. Anything that you need, I will be. I am, right? Matthew chapter 10, verses 22 tells us we will be hated because of his name. His name. Isaiah chapter 52, verse 6 tells us that his people shall know his name, right? Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 39 says, there will come a day when his name will no longer be profaned. And we can see that over these course of years of us waking up and us returning to him, we're working through all these little symptoms of a bigger problem because we don't even know the person. We know who we worship. What's your God's name, right? And everywhere Israel is fumbling in the dark, we're trying to find our way. Just like Yahuwah said, he said, they in the land of their captivity, they're going to begin to come to themselves. And they're going to be asking, which way is Jerusalem? Which way to the place where our God resides, right? Where is he? That's the road we need to be on, right? This is happening to us today. Let me read this again. Matthew chapter 10, verses 22 tells us we will be hated because of his name. Isaiah 52, verse 6 tells us that his people shall know his name. Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 39 says there will come a day when his name will no longer be profaned. Psalm 118, verse 26, quoted by Isaiah at Matthew chapter 23, 39. For I tell you, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh. Malachi chapter 3, verse 16 through 18. Then those who feared Yahuwah talked with one another, and Yahuwah listened and heard. A scroll of remembrance was written in his presence concerning those who feared Yahuwah and meditated upon his name. They will be mine, says Yahuwah Shaddai. In the day when I make up my treasured possession, I will spare them, just as in compassion a man spares his son who serves him. And you will again see the distinction between the righteous and the wicked, between those who serve Yahuwah and those who do not. Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 9. But if I say I will not remember him or speak anymore in his name, then in my heart it becomes like a burning fire, shut up in my bones, and I am weary of holding it in, and I cannot endure it. Jeremiah 23, verses 26 through 27. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of deceit of their own heart, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. Baal. The definition of Baal means Lord, Lord. When I found out, I did my best not to refer to Yahuwah as a Lord, right? Even when I read, as you see us reading, we're reading through the New Living Translation. When we read our daily 3 chapters, every time I see where they have replaced Yahuwah's name with a general term, I replace their general term with Yahuwah's name. Because why? We want to make his name known to his people. We don't want to be like those who caused his people to forget his name, or caused his name to go to ruin, or has taken his name in vain. And remember, one of the first 4 commandments said, do not take my name in vain. But if you look at it and you read it and understand it from its original text, it doesn't say that. What it should say, do not cause my name to go to ruin. How do you cause something to go to ruin? Like you completely cause it to go desolate. We'll cover it up and we won't make it known. We will not speak it anymore, right? And when you don't speak it, people don't hear it and they don't know it and they forget it, right? And it's like, what is your name? Like, right? We are identified by our names. Think about our own names. We talked about this before. We are even jealous over our own names, right? And so if your name, my name is Pam. Somebody call me Patricia. Okay, your first time. This is a newcomer. You don't really know me, so you don't know my name. Since my name is Pam. Oh, I'm sorry. And those who we make those mistakes. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought I heard them say Patricia. Oh, Pam. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm and people, they are really like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry, because people know how that's a personal identifier, something that's personal. That's us. Like when you say somebody's name, you automatically attribute that name to certain attributes and characters of that person, right? They say, yo, here come John. Oh Lord. If everybody know what John you talking about, and they know that John is a terror in the neighborhood, when you say John, it's like John Terror. This is the terror. They identify that name with something, with attributes of the way you live your life and how you carry yourself, right? And so when we read through here, we constantly see what Yahuwah is doing. That's why the fear, when they spoke his name, the fear of Yahuwah was upon every nation of the world, before Israel started doing their shenanigans and cutting up, right? And so even when you said Israel, Israel, their God is Yah. Did you get away from them messing with them good people? Oh, no, we ain't going. Even Nebuchadnezzar, we talked about this, how long it took Nebuchadnezzar to go fight against Israel, against Jerusalem. He said, I am not. And Yahuwah himself, he was like, listen, Nebuchadnezzar, I'm telling you to go. They're cutting up. I need to teach them a lesson. I'm going to whoop their tails. And right, everybody else, nobody else can do it. So I'm choosing you. Go ahead. I'm giving you permission. Go ahead, pull them out my house. They acting a fool, right? Kids cutting up in the house. Sometimes you need to call reinforcements, right? All right, yep, this gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you, right? We need an intervention here, right? So when you say a name, we immediately identify it with characteristics and actions, right, of the character of this particular person. So when we say Yah, yes, oh, I am everything. There's nothing but good when I think of, there's nothing but good memories, good when I hear that name, when I say that name, oh my gosh, I just got to stop for a moment and just think about all the goodness that I have experienced in conjunction with that name, like with that presence, with his presence, with him, right? Who say, who can stand against me? Who can be compared to me? Who will you compare me with, right? Look, okay. Let me see how much more. Okay, we're going to finish this section about Bill, and then we're going to end it because it's Tuesday. I know people got to go to work. Y'all, if y'all got to go to work, get off of here. Go render unto Caesar what is due unto Caesar, right? This is recorded. Come back and pick it up at the hour and 10-minute mark. Okay, Bill. Definition is Lord. Psalm chapter 23, verse 1. Yahuwah, or, and in parentheses he has, or the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Hebrew word Baal is defined as Lord in English. Invoking his covenant name, Yahuwah declared that the Yahudim would not utter his name. Hold on. Yahuwah declared that the Yahudim would not utter his name. Okay, so I get what they're saying now. A few chapters ago, we actually read when Yahuwah was, he was, right now he's giving it out. He's doling out punishment to all the nations, of which we ended today with him doling out punishment or telling Babylon what was going to happen to them. But if we go back a few chapters when he was talking to Israel, he was telling them, he said, y'all doing all this. He said, finally, he said that I gave y'all chance after 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 chance, right? He said, at this point, punishment has to come. I have to discipline you. He said, and you can't, when you go, he said, I'm going to exile you to the lands that you love so much so you can freely worship the gods that you want to worship here in my house. He said, you do that over there. He said, when you're there, don't even call me, right? You love them so much, you go over there and be with them. Don't call my name, right? He said, don't say my name no more while you over there. He said, let's see if these guys that you call out while you in my house, let's see how well they treat you. Let's see what they do for you when you get in trouble. Call on them. Don't call my name, right? So this is what this is talking about. Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 24 through 26. Hear the word of Yahuwah, all you people of Yehuda or Judah in Egypt. This is what Yahuwah Shaddai, the God of Israel, says. You and your wives have shown by your actions, and in parentheses, he put the actions, what they were doing, making cakes, pouring out drink offerings, and burning incense for Asherah. Remember, Asherah is it is letting you know what God they're worshiping, right? The Asherah poles or the Christmas trees. They're worshiping the Queen of Heaven, which is another name for Asherah. Semiramis, right? There's a lot of different names depending on which culture in the world you are at. Her name is different, but it's still the same entity they call the Queen of Heaven, right? You and your wives have shown by your actions what you promised when you said, we will certainly carry out the vows we made to burn incense. We will certainly carry out the vows we made to burn incense and pour out drink offerings to the Queen of Heaven. And in parentheses, it has Asherah. Go ahead then, do what you promised. Keep your vows. But hear the word of Yahuwah, all the Yahudim living in Egypt. I swear by my great name, says Yahuwah, that no one from Judah living anywhere in Egypt will ever again invoke my name or swear as surely as Yahuwah, the sovereign Lord, lives, right? Or as surely as the sovereign God lives. And that's what he told him right there. He said, go do that. Go ahead and worship the Queen of Heaven, but don't say my name. I forbid you to ever say mine. Don't call me, right? You go do that. Yahuwah is saying that he removed his name from their lips. But at Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9, he will restore the pure language, and we will again call on his name and serve him shoulder to shoulder, right? The customary adult beverage toast to give honors to anything or anyone may be the, hold on, I'm reading it too fast. Okay, it's talking about when you get some alcohol and you go to toast with your glass. Okay. The customary adult beverage toast to give honors to anything or anyone, maybe these drink offerings, or to offer a toast, maybe a type of boasting or lifting up a glass to something other than Yahuwah. It's worth avoiding this behavior. If any man boasts, what should be the reason for his boasting? Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 24. Let not the wise man boast of his wisdom, or the strong man boast of his strength, or the rich man boast of his riches, but let him who boasts boast about this, that he understands and knows me, that I am Yahuwah, who exercises kindness, justice, and righteousness on earth. For in these I delight, declares Yahuwah. I only got like one more, actually like two more sentences. It's a whole scripture and an ending sentence. Okay. Isaiah chapter 42, verses 5 through 9. This is what Yahuwah says. He who created the heavens and stretched them out, who spread out the earth and all that comes out of it, who gives breath to its people and life to those who walk in it. I, Yahuwah, have called you in righteousness. I will take hold of your hand. I will keep you and will make you to be a covenant for the people and a light for the Gentiles, to open eyes that are blind, to free the captives from prison, and to release from the dungeon those who sit in darkness. I am Yahuwah. That is my name. I will not give my esteem to another or my praise to idols. See, the former things have taken place, and new things I declare. Before they spring into being, I announce them to you. Our Christian friend stated that his name is not Yahweh, yet Yahuwah stated that his name, in fact, is Yahuwah. All right, and so that's where we'll end at right here for today. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the reading. I certainly did. I always do, right? I might be the only one, but I think some of y'all do. Y'all kind of stick around for a little while. Even through my fumbling and screwing up words and stuff. So thank you for bearing with me, right? And my mispronunciation of words. I'm trying to get it, y'all. I'm trying to get it. All right, y'all. So we read Jeremiah chapter 49, chapter 50, and chapter 51. And we read Fossilized Customs, page 277 to page 279. Remember, if you want a copy of the book, I just gave you the Amazon link where I purchased my book. I ain't getting paid for none of this. But after we read our daily chapters, we find a companion reading where it can kind of help us bring clarity, because it has some research and stuff that some people aren't really aware of. And I thought this was really good, because although there are some errors in here and there are some things that I don't agree with, when we get to that, we point those things out, and I explain why I don't agree with it.
I can show them my ponytail.
Well, hold on, Pootie. Go get some lip gloss, put it on your lips. I'm going to let you end this. I'm about to end it in a second. Yeah, you can show them your ponytails, Tootie. Okay. Go put some lip gloss on your lips first. Go ahead. Give her that. Give her that out of there so she can put it on her lips. But it's called Fossilized Customs, and it's by Lou White, right? So just like we go through and we have to correct some of the, okay, she's trying to put a head in here so y'all can see her little Mickey Mouse ears on the side, her Afro puffs rather, on the side of her head. Girl, put some on your lips, sis. They child. Go put that on. I can't. You want to end this? Okay, you got to go put that on your lips. I can't let you get in the camera looking like that, sis. Okay, so like I said, just like we correct some of the mispronunciation. Sorry, bring it here, please. And some of the leaven that has been added to the loaf, when we find it, we point it out and we correct it, right? So same thing when we read anything that we're reading along with the scriptures, we'll do the same thing, right? Nobody has all the pieces, but if we can all come together, bring our pieces together, we can work this thing out together. We can figure this out, right? And that's what we should be doing. Everybody has a little bit of the truth, right? And if we can stop arguing, okay, sis. Well, if we can stop arguing over the things that we have wrong and trying to tell everybody that everything we know is right, but just pull out the things that everybody agree on that we can all verify is the truth, we can actually gain some ground, right?
Where's Nani, Mom?
Nani is here, sis. She ain't said, she did say something earlier. She here. Masha looking for you. Okay, let's go ahead and do this blessing. Y'all can hear my household getting up. She didn't give you a kiss? Okay, she's looking for you to blow a kiss at her. Oh my gosh, she's looking for it. While you finding your kissy sign, let me pull up the blessing. Hold on. Okay, y'all. And the blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. Remember, the first 21 verses of Numbers chapter 6 is the Nazarite vow. And Yahuwah said that a man or a woman can take the Nazarite vow, right? Okay.
Mama.
Hold on, Boo.
Mommy.
Yes.
Now you go get my bracelets done in my mouth.
No, you're not getting braces, too. You don't need braces. I thought you was talking about bracelet on your arm. We'll talk about that in a second.
No, I said bracelets in my mouth.
Okay, we're going to talk about that.
Shh. Bracelets.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. Okay, y'all. That is it for today. I wanted to share something else with y'all that I learned yesterday about the blessing, and I'll share the video so you can see it. I shared it with somebody else, but I was looking at it. I was like, oh, because I'm still learning how to translate Hebrew. I don't claim to be fluent. If you give me a Hebrew sentence to read, give me a few hours, because I need to decipher every letter. Stop, Bella. And then I need to make sure I'm pronunciating it right according to the rules that go along with the Hebrew language. Right? So it's going to take me a little while. But this guy, his name is Bella, chill. His name is Jeff Benner. I think I pronounced that right. As a matter of fact, I showed you one of the Torahs he had written in all Paleo Hebrew. It looks like all the characters, right? It still looks like a bunch of pictures to me, right? I still can't. It will take me a while. I could decipher it. Just take me a while, and I need to check myself and double check myself. But anyway, I brought that up because this little video, it's like a little short. I think the video was like 7 minutes. But at the end, he actually takes the blessing, Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. And he said, let me show you how much different this is. Not too different, but he gave you the proper interpretation of what the blessing is, right? And I want to pull it up, but I got it saved on my, matter of fact, this is going to pause. Oh, man, let me see something first before I do this. Let me see if it transfers to my pictures up here, because I really want to read to see y'all and how different this sounds. And not so different, but it gives you a different light of what this blessing is saying, right? I mean, it's still a blessing. It's blessing his people, but it's like it's a more intimate blessing, and it's like he's
No, I didn't.
It's like what a father would be to their children. Like sometimes you just got to get down on your knees and come down to, not that you're coming down to their level, but you're coming down and you're looking at them face to face, and you're just taking them and you're telling them, look, I love you, right? It's like one of those type of things where it's like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Hold on, let me see. I gotta read it to y'all. Hold on, I gotta read it to y'all.
Mama.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Let's see. Photos. Let's see if it transferred to my laptop, because I saved it. Hold on. Let's see. Oh man. Wait. Oh wait, it did. Hold on. Okay. Let me pull this up. Okay. Listen to this. Now we just read the blessing, Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 through 26. We do it every single day. We've been doing it every single day at the end of our reading for the last 3 years. Now, here's what he did. And I actually came across this while I was looking at the proper pronunciation of the name. And I was sharing with one of the young ladies that had asked me, so how to do this? And without, yes, Bella.
You go back and let me
Wait
see.
a minute. I was trying to find something because it would take me a while to type out everything. So I was trying to find something that was really condensed, that got right to the point. Because sometimes I can be a little long-winded. I know, I'm sorry. And some people's like, would you just please get to the point? So I was trying to find something. And that's when I came across this. And at the end of this little 7-minute video, he actually put the blessing up there. And he tells you, he said, this is a better translation of what this actually says, right? It says, hold on, Tootie. It says, Yahuwah will kneel before you, presenting gifts, and will guard you with a hedge of protection. Yahuwah will illuminate the wholeness of his being towards you, bringing order, and he will provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yahuwah will lift up his wholeness of being and look upon you, and he will set in place all you need to be whole and complete. I was done when I read this, because I had been reading it in the English translation for so long, and I can regurgitate it, and I taught my children, and I was like, this is what it says here and here and here, but the way he presented it, and at first I was like, Yahuwah kneeling before us? He's the great, why would he kneel? And then he began to explain it, because when you understand there is so much you have to understand about the Hebrew language, and keeping it in its proper context when you're explaining something. It's like knowing the intimate details, somebody being a part of my family, and knowing the intimate details of our family and our inside language and our inside jokes and everything. It's like, stop. It's like somebody being intimate with that information and then telling somebody about my family, versus somebody from the outside looking in and observing what we do and hearing how we speak and certain things we say, and they try and take those intimate details of our family relationship and our inside jokes, and they don't understand what our inside jokes mean. Like, wait a minute, Tootie.
Let's just turn that off.
I'm gonna turn it off in a second. Let me just finish explaining this. So there's an inside family thing that my mom and my siblings that we have, something that we experienced while growing up, while we were living in Illinois, and it was with this other family that lived a couple houses down. They had a little kitten, right? They had a little kitten, and the kitten had gotten lost. They couldn't find the kitten. And so what happened was the mom and her friend, they were really sticklers on English and how to speak properly. I'll never forget it. And the little boy's name was Quan, and they sent him to go look for the cat, right? So he comes back, and we're sitting out there. My family, we sitting on the porch. It was a nice day. And so Lisa and them, they out there looking for the cat. They said, Quan, go in the house and see if the cat then fell in something, and look all out here. So Quan comes back out the house, and Quan was like 10 years old. And he said, she ain't in none of she hiding places. And you should have seen their faces, because I don't think that they were English teachers, but they were really proper. And they went slap off when he said she ain't in none of she hiding places. So because my family, right, we took that one little saying that Quan said, and we kind of carried that along in our family. So it's only us, or who was there at that time, that kind of saw that. So when we're talking, we'll just bust out and say she ain't in none of she hiding places. Like if we're looking for something, or some say we lose our keys or something, we'll come out and say she ain't in none of she hiding places. It's an inside joke for us, and we'll all laugh and giggle. But somebody from the outside will be like, she ain't. First of all, your English is wrong. What did you just say? And what do you mean she? Kankakee, Tony. So it's only those who are intimate with the inside jokes and details of the family can really understand the proper context of what we're doing and what we're being said. And the Hebrew language and culture is just like that. So when you have outsiders, those who kind of who look from the outside, who are not Hebrew themselves, when they go and try and explain things, they give you a whole entire different interpretation of what was being really said. And so if somebody will go say this, that the she ain't in none of she hiding places would kind of be like a Hebrew idiom that you would hear the Hebrews speak because of their culture and what was happening, but somebody else, oh no, but this meant this. And now in English, it means something totally different. It takes away the intimacy that the family had, the private time and the story that they shared. Yes.
Sorry,
and, okay, and people really don't understand what this family is really about. And that's kind of what's happened with the Hebrew language. Wait a minute, Bella. That's kind of, Bella, I'm gonna send you upstairs. I told you I'm gonna show them. So that's kind of what happens when we translate. When you get the wrong translators trying to translate Hebrew into English, and that's how you have all these different interpretations, and people are screwed up and cannot follow what is going on because they don't understand that. Good morning, Kathy. Shalom. So when I read this blessing like this, right? Let me do this. Let me read the blessing how we normally read it, just so you can hear. I know it's taking a little bit longer, but I'll show you the difference, right? Listen. Okay. So the blessing as we read it, right, is this. Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. And Yahuwah spake to Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise you shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, and this is where it starts right here, where he translated, Yahuwah bless us and keep us. Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. So you can tell this translation versus this translation right here from somebody that understands the family. You can see even how the feel of it is different. Now let's listen to it in a more intimate way, right? Listen. When you talk to my children, tell them this about me. Yahuwah, I will kneel before you and present gifts and will guard you with a hedge of protection. I will illuminate the wholeness of my being towards you and bring order. And I will provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. I will lift up my wholeness of being and look upon you. And I will set in place all you need to be whole and complete. I'm like, oh my gosh, right? And it just, and I'm just like, we're going to do the proper interpretation of this from this day forward, right? So y'all can see how even that just feels different, right? It makes it more personal. It makes us want to know our Father more, right? So yes, it's a big difference, right? So I'm going to share that. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to share, but we got to go. Guys, my background is live and Tootie baby. She's just gonna get more amped up. So we got to end this. All right, y'all. So we did the blessing. I love y'all. Sis, you want to come on and end this? All right. Okay, y'all. So I see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, and if you're looking for the video that I said, the response to Truth Unveiled, guys, listen. It's still uploading, and because I'm using my phone to upload this, it stopped the uploading process. It takes a little while. Like I got it there, it's ready to upload. Now, once I end this, I must restart the uploading process. It's just taking a little while. I guess because it's the app I'm using Splice. It should have been uploaded yesterday, but it's taking forever. So the video that I said was going to be posted yesterday, keep watching for it today. Hopefully it won't take as long because I cleared some of my storage off trying to speed up the process to get it up there. But be looking for that. Guys, you might have to watch it in pieces because I broke it down and we went through every precept or every chain reference so we can verify that the relationship that Jonathan and David had cannot be framed in any kind of homosexual way whatsoever, right? Okay, so that's why it's so long. If you can watch it all, watch it all. But if you got to break it up, pause it, come back, do that. But the references are all there. Okay, so with that being said, let me get out of here. She's just getting loud. Okay, so come on, let's end this. All right, y'all. Peace. You want to do this one too? Or you want me to do it? Come on over here. Come on. Come on. Show you Mickey Mouse ears. Come on. Come on. All right, here. Hit next. Hit next. Hit this one and hit post now. Okay, now here, right here. In stream. In stream. Josh, stop. Come on. In stream, Bella. I'm gonna hit it myself. Come on, sis. In stream. All right, y'all. End. There you go. Hit it. Wrong button. Wrong button. Go back up. Go back up. Right here. There you go.
Now I didn't press it.